Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stock. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Today, I would like to talk to you about 3 companies. 2 of them I've talked about before, 2 of them at a fairly great length, I think, across my other videos. One of them is brand new to this channel, and it's also one that's been out there, it's been beaten up, but I think that it's going to turn things around within the near future, at least within the next 12 months. So, let's get ready to rock. Welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description you'll find a link to my Patreon. If you head on over there and sign up, you'll find my access to my growth portfolio, my dividend portfolio, my weekly watch list of stocks. I've also just this past weekend started putting out Patreon exclusive videos where at least once a week for right now, we'll see how they're received and then we'll go on from there. The first one was received really well, but just different videos that talk about finance and investing, and as it improves and as I get feedback from the patrons, I'll repoint it and see what they think, and so far everybody who's watched it has reported good things to me. So I really appreciate that. I'm really excited about it. And you know, if you would like to come over, check it out and see if it's worth your money, well, that link is down in the description. Also down in the description is linked for Webull if you need a trading platform. It's the platform that I use in my videos, and it's also one that I recently started trading on. By signing up and depositing $100, you get 2 free stocks valued up to a total of $1,850. I get 2 free stocks for the referral. Thank you ahead of time for the support for that. And finally, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share with your friends. Let's get on to the stocks. The first company that I have for you is VLDR, and VLDR LiDAR has been just ripped apart. By the way, the ticker symbol is VLDR, and since end of January, even into the beginning of February, we can just see this sell-off, and it just kept selling off. And then in the worst of the market that we had on March the 5th, it even dropped down below $11 a share. Since then, by market close today, it's recovered to about middle 13s. The news for VLDR has not been great between the accounting issues that they had. They said they need to get their financials, their record keeping into good order. So that's something that we definitely want to pay attention to, because if we're investing, if we're dealing with money here, we want the financials coming out of VLDR to be accurate and to be well kept. Also, some of the news about their executives needing stronger management, those are things that we also want to pay attention to, and I believe that they're remedying those things. And I'm not currently invested in VLDR, but it is one, because of its upside potential, that it does have my attention. So right now, to the low estimate of $16 per share, that's about 15 to 20% from its closing price today over the next 12 months, and I'm okay with a 15 to 20% return. So that's just to the low estimate. If we go up to the high estimate is currently at about $30 per share, so that's over 100% beyond where we're at, so doubling our money over the next 12 months. So that sort of potential from low end to high end is definitely something that has my attention. I'm going to continue doing my research and my due diligence to determine whether or not this is a stock that I do want to put my money into, but I think it's at least worth a look based on the recent price action that it's had, and also the 12-month price target that it has going forward for it. The average analyst estimate on this, by the way, is about $22 per share. So even if we went up that far, I think that still represents about 70% upside from where it's currently at. So anywhere from like 15 to over 100% upside for their price over the next 12 months. So I'm going to put a little bit more research into this, see what I think about it, see if I'm confident enough in the company to put my money into the company. And you know, if you would like to take a look, you know, here it is. There's also Luminar Technologies is also another company that's in the LiDAR space if you're looking for a LiDAR play. Microvision is also in there. I don't know if Microvision has a product created yet, or if they're still in the prototyping phase, but it's definitely something that you can check out. This one has my attention out of the 3 of those companies. Alright, next is a company that I've done a lot of reporting on since the end of December when I started this channel, when I was pretty new to YouTube. I still think I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm learning stuff all the time, and it's been a lot of fun. So what we have here, this price action that we have, is something that we can see echoing throughout the genomic space. Over here, if we take a look, this is the past month for genomics, different companies that are related to the genomic space. So in orange we see the NASDAQ, and you can see over the past month that it did finish down from a month ago. And then in yellow we have CRISPR, older, more established, and you can see it moving, and the ARCG ETF in purple is sort of moving right along with it, though slightly underperforming. And then PacBio, slightly more volatile, a little bit more reactive. Also a newer company like BNGO, but a little bit better established. That also started to correlate really well with what we have with the ARCG ETF and CRISPR. And then finally BNGO, you can see the newest company, the one that's on shakiest ground, probably the highest risk play that we have, really is moving right along with them. It had a steep sell-off by March the 4th, but then it kind of stayed consistently below the others since that point in time. So our BNGO, it is down with a lot of other companies that are in the genomic space. I just don't think that genomic space, maybe its hype got played and then it settled for a little while. That's definitely a possibility that we have there, and I think it's just out of the spotlight, but it will come back to the spotlight. BNGO has earnings coming up on March the 23rd at 4:30 in the after hours, of course, 4:30 Eastern time. So after hours, after market close on, I believe it's Tuesday, we see those earnings come out. We should have pretty good news on the revenue. I imagine that it will be because of the use that we had through COVID and everything and the different news that we had come out. I expect good things from that part of it. Earnings, we'll have to wait and see what earnings say because they are a developing company. If we do get good news and if we do get a good spike on this, we have to be really careful for share dilution and further capital raises. So just be aware of that. Don't be afraid if it does come down to taking a little bit of profit because we do get a big spike. Don't be afraid to take that. Also, don't be surprised if we have our run up to earnings followed by a sell-off when the earnings are announced. Those are common things that happen. If the earnings are very surprising in a good way, if we get big revenue beats, earning beats against the consensus, then we could see this thing skyrocket a little bit. But like I said, with an elevated price significantly above where it's at now, I could easily see BNGO taking advantage of that and doing another capital raise in order to increase their cash position. The last company that I have for you is ChargePoint, and ChargePoint sold off not only because of its own hype sort of dying down, but also with the EV market and with growth stocks in general just tanking. So we have, we'll call it a trifecta, just depressing their stock price and just hanging out near the bottom. And I think that this is a really big value play that we have here, that as they grow, as the EV market grows over the next 5 to 10 years that we have, ChargePoint is already a leader in their space with EV charging. And the analysts are saying, at least one, and I'm sure that others are saying it because I definitely see it as well, that they are well positioned to be dominant or to continue to be dominant within their space. And I think the average analyst estimate right now is about $42 per share, which is about an 80% upside from its closing price in today's market. So definitely one that I don't see trailing off much more from where it's at. And if you don't already have a position, it is down near the bottom of where it's been. We haven't seen prices that really have been like it has been since, throughout the month of March, all the way back since November 2019. So right now, I think that if we were to get into this stock, they'd be getting a huge deal. If you haven't dollar cost averaged down, it's something that I have done and that I might even grab a few more. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I don't know that it is a fairly high conviction stock for myself. Even though I'm already heavy in it, I still might grab some more shares, especially if I can get a hold of them under $24 per share. That would really bring down my average price per share for them and make it even easier to make a profit and increase the percent gain that I would have on the stock. And it is a long-term hold for me, at least 3 to 5 years. Assuming that the news stays pretty much the same as what it is now, that they continue to be leaders in their field and they continue to grow the way that we expect them to. So let me summarize. Velodyne, I'm not currently invested, but I am thinking about it as I do my research and due diligence. It might be a company that I end up leaning into and putting in a small investment and maybe dollar cost averaging over time. Especially if I like what I see. Depending on how much I like what I see will determine how much of a position I take, if I take a position at all. BNGO, their earnings coming up on Tuesday. I think that we're going to have some nice numbers coming out of their earnings, and I hope that we get some really good guidance coming along with the earnings call to see what we can expect throughout the rest of 2021. FDA approval is really going to be a catalyst for them, so please make sure that you watch out for that. If they get FDA approval for their product, it really opens up their customer base and really allows them to have broader market penetration. Finally, ChargePoint. ChargePoint's been beaten up. It's been kicked around. It's down right now, and as somebody who does long-term investing and takes long positions on stocks, it's one that I think it's a great time for a long position for myself. You guys can take a look into it, see what you think. I hope that you liked my discussion today. Down in the description is a link to the Patreon if you want to join me over there. Also down in the description is that link to Webull if you want to sign up and deposit $100 and get your 2 free stocks. I think it's a great idea. I really like the platform. I think you will too. Finally, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share with your friends. Remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and due diligence. Contact a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.